Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this USL broadcast of New York Red Bulls 2 on NewYorkRedBulls.com. The New York Red Bulls at 2-3-2, facing off against the Harrisburg City Islanders at 2-2-1. I'm David Goss here in Harrison, New Jersey, in Red Bull Arena at the facility that is at the center of everyone's conversation and mind right now in the New York area. A massive fixture coming up tomorrow. The New York Red Bulls facing off against NYCFC in Major League Soccer, but we have a great treat for you today. Two teams next to each other in the standings with a little bit of history, especially in the U.S. Open Cup play, and a great matchup here between Bill Belcher's boys coming up from Pennsylvania and John Wolinek's guys coming off a big 3-2 extra time victory over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in their last game. Should be a fun matchup. New York Red Bulls 2 loaning 7 players, getting 7 players on loan from the first team, as well as starting one of their academy loanees in Derek Etienne, who has wowed us throughout his time here. Came in off the bench in the first game, has slowly built his way up, and he's got the opportunity to get a start here today, again, alongside Marius Obakop, who will play in the creative number 10 role for the first time so far this season. He, as well, coming off of injury, looking to prove himself. These two teams currently sitting at 7th and 8th in the Eastern Conference after a giant victory by the Charlotte Independents last night. They got their first win in franchise history last week, got a 3-0 victory over second-place Richmond themselves. In that conversation, the New York Red Bulls, too, currently in the midst of their longest homestand of the season, still 2 more weeks to go, as well as a potential U.S. Open Cup game in between that could be at home or it could be in New Jersey. Either way, this team, a great opportunity to put some results together now coming home. They did a great job against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the last game. They went up 1-0, got pulled back, went up 2-1, got pulled back, and then their captain, Anthony Wallace, stepped up and was able to get them a winner late in the game. We're going to welcome out our two teams and go to our national anthems. Before we get you our starting lineups here, Harrisburg City Islanders with 3 players on loan from the Philadelphia Union. Harrisburg, one of the best teams in USL. They lost in the final last year at Sacramento Republic FC. So an opportunity for these young New York Red Bulls 2 players to go up against one of the established powerhouses in the United Soccer League and get this heavy Saturday full of action started. We're going to go down for the national anthem, and then we'll be back with all your starting lineups and first half action here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. And we are ready to get started. And let's get to our lineups, and we'll start with the away team. The Harrisburg City Islanders closing out their longest road trip of the season, Bill Belcher's boys, and he's got his captain and his staple in goal in Nick Noble. The exact same starting lineup as last week against Wilmington. Across the back, Schaefer, Johnson, Dante, Leverock, as well as Ken Tribbett at right back. In the holding midfield roles, Ekra and Vallis. In front of them, Jose Barril. On the left, Jason Plumoff coming off a goal, and the Philadelphia Union homegrown player Jimmy McLaughlin. And up top, Danny DePrima getting the start again, a former St. John's alum. Bill Belcher's boys finally getting to go home, started 6 of 7 on the road. Now let's get to the New York Red Bulls 2 starting lineup, and for them you'll see similarities as well. Harrisburg City starting the exact same back line as last week. The New York Red Bulls 2 as well starting the exact same back line. Santi Castaño in goal, as he has done almost the entire season for this team. Gave up a penalty kick in the last game, but was still strong. John Wolinek's boys, Sean McClaws, Andrew Jean-Baptiste, Mike DeFont, and Anthony Wallace across that back line once again. And Anthony Wallace coming off that stunning goal wearing the captain's armband. In the holding midfield roles, Dan Metzger and Leo Stoltz. In front of them, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Marius Obakop in the number 10 role, Manolo Sanchez out left, Derek Etienne out right, and Chris Sonis up top. And the conversation this week has been about number 17 out left, Manolo Sanchez. He forced an own goal. He got himself a goal last game. And after coming off injuries to start the season and getting himself really to the fitness level he wants to be, Coach Wolenek feels like he's about to turn that corner. Confidence from last game he hopes will grow on this game. And we're really starting to see the Manolo Sanchez, the player that they went out, that they drafted, that they really believed could be a difference maker for this team. Harrisburg City going to get us started here on a overcast but cool afternoon in Harrison, New Jersey for this USL matchup. And we are off. Harrisburg City Islanders coming off a big 4-0 victory on the road against the Wilmington Hammerheads in their last game, 2-0-1 over the course of the last 3 games. This, their 7th game of the season, their 6th road game of the season. Haven't really got to feel the comforts of home, but still hanging around 8th place in the conference. And that's great positioning for you to get a chance to go home, get a run of games. They host the Charlotte Independents next week in Harrisburg, as Jose Barril will look to take this one. Jose Barril, one of 5 players who returned from last year's championship finalist side. Free kick driven in and flicked on, and it'll go out for a goal kick. Wilmington outplayed Harrisburg City, you have to say, in their last game. See the replay of this set piece for the first 20 minutes, and then Harrisburg got a goal off a corner kick from Ken Tribbett, defended it well, and then got a second goal from Ken Tribbett to double the lead. And this is a team that doesn't need to see a lot of the ball to get themselves some goals. They're a team very realistic about the way they go on the road and play games. They won 3 playoff games on the road last year to get to the final as the 8th place team. They were the last team in the playoffs. They beat Orlando City, who won the regular season championship. The Richmond Kickers, as well as the Charleston Battery, on the road to go and face Sacramento Republic FC at Bonnie Field, eventually falling in the final 2-0 in the second half. Just another opportunity to see how successful this Harrisburg City team has been. 2007 USL champions. And they look to continue that strong tradition. They actually have a player in Danny DePrima starting up top who played in their academy at one time, a local boy, showing the roots this club is putting down after being founded in 2004. It's a team that's had good success in the U.S. Open Cup, and that includes against the New York Red Bulls. They defeated the New York Red Bulls in 2010. 1-0 in the round of 16, as well as in 2012, defeating them 3-1. Coach Wolenek knows this side well. Heavy changes from season to season, but Bill Betcher has been there the entire time for all 11 seasons so far. Harrisburg knocking it around comfortably to start. Jan Ekra here on the ball. Part of that strong midfield three. And a good run out of the midfield here. An opportunity early on, the left-footed shot off the crossbar and out for a goal kick. Castagno made the save, pushed it off the crossbar and out for a goal kick. Jimmy McLaughlin here. Fingertips, if that, from Castagno. See McLaughlin makes the run out of midfield, able to get a space there. You can see the save. Castagno, his first of the game. He's had heavy work to do on this team, even in games the New York Red Bulls, too, have gotten comfortable wins. Castagno's been active. He's got a veteran back line in front of him. As I said, these four players played together last week in the exact same positions. Andrew Jean-Baptiste, MLS experience. Anthony Wallace wearing that captain's armband. Has been around in Major League Soccer for the better part of 7 years now. Ekra here, the ball over the top. And right now, a lot of movement along that front line. McLaughlin makes that run in from the midfield. Jason Plumhoff as well, who's going to be playing out wide right, but can play a lot more as a forward or a number 10 and will float in at times. Sanchez drives that. Cross to the far side. Etienne able to pick it up, beats his man. Another cross coming into the far post. Sanchez knocks it down and cleared away by Johnson. End-to-end action here to start this one off. And if you want to get all your USL news and live stats, check out uslsoccer.com. The latest news, live stats, as well as their new social media hub. That's uslsoccer.com. A lot of action going on this weekend in the league, including a Western Conference table-topping match between Seattle Sounders 2 and Sacramento Republic FC at what will be a raucous Bonnie Field. The Rochester Rhinos looking to stay in first place later tonight in the Eastern Conference, facing off against Toronto FC 2. And the New York Red Bulls 2, for the second time this season, will take on the Charleston Battery next week. But first, the Battery will host the Pittsburgh Riverhounds later tonight. All of those games, as well as all your New York Red Bulls 2 games and every USL game, are available on YouTube, live, free, and in HD. Etienne with space out wide left here. Great first touch from the academy kid, the UVA projected player. As Stoltz losing out there. Good battle between those two. And played back to Mike DeFont. DeFont has held down his starting spot most of the season at center back. Good pass there from Manolo Sanchez, but Leo Stoltz can't keep his shot down. And blasted over the crossbar. Great end-to-end action, though. These two teams starting this game out very open. You see Manolo Sanchez. He locates Stoltz, and early on in the season, he was whipping crosses in, maybe not as targeted, but that time, and what we've seen, that bit of confidence. He had a good game on the road against the Rochester Rhinos. They came home, and he had his best game of the season in the last game. And you see here playing with a lot of confidence. So that pass just a little bit too short. And Jimmy McLaughlin takes that one over. Harrisburg City traveled to Wilmington last week with only 13 players on their roster. The Philadelphia Union injury problems themselves weren't able to loan down any players. And Harrisburg struggling with a few injuries. Only 16 players are officially signed on their roster. See this set piece won by Sanis on Enric Vallis. And so Harrisburg, shorthanded, were still able to get the victory They come here today with 3 loanies from the Philadelphia Union, allowing them to fill out their numbers. Stoltz here to take. Floated in, knocked away by Noble. Couldn't get a clean catch on it, even with no pressure. And Etienne able to keep it alive. Anthony Wallace coming forward now. Left-footed cross alive in the box. The shot comes in wide of that far post. Mike DeFont, striker-like capabilities there, making himself look like a forward. Anthony Wallace's cross deflected away. DeFont does a good job readying his body before the ball gets there. Gets himself over it with the left-footed shot, takes the deflection, and out for the corner kick. Leo Stoltz to take. Alive on the far post, still alive in the box. Sanchez can't turn, gets it to Tsanis' feet. Now Andrew Jean-Baptiste, and he blasts it home! The center back, Andrew Jean-Baptiste, with the right-footed hammer, puts it in the top right corner. Chris Tsanis with the assist, and the New York Red Bulls, too, are flying early on here at Red Bull Arena. Consistently on the set pieces early on in this game, New York Red Bulls, too, have been able to keep the ball alive, and Chris Tsanis there. Talked to Coach Wolenik about him before the game, said it was his best performance of the season in the last game. Hasn't gotten the goal yet, but is able to keep that ball alive. And Andrew Jean-Baptiste, you love to see that from your defenders, staying in the box, staying active, staying part of the play. And Andrew Jean-Baptiste gets the goal. And now right back the other way, Harrisburg City Islanders try to tie it up and save off the foot of Danny DePrima. Santi Castano stepping up huge. The second big save he's had to make so far in this game. The New York Red Bulls, too, trying to keep the pressure on. What a game we have here. The last game, New York Red Bulls, 2 beat Pittsburgh 3-2. Great action in that one, but the first 10 minutes of this game have just been nonstop. Harrisburg City with 2 or 3 good goal-scoring opportunities, and the New York Red Bulls, too, with already a 1-0 lead here in this game. And the South Ward in here at Red Bull Arena getting the vocal cords warmed up for what will be a big game tomorrow with this one, and this could be a huge result for the New York Red Bulls, too. They've gotten off to a great start, a 1-0 victory, trying to jump over the Riverhounds and the Charlotte Independents up the standings into those top 6 playoff spots, as well as trying to get these home wins. They go on the road for the entire month of June, as well as the beginning of July after this, and you want to get yourself some home victories. You want to give yourself maybe a little bit of cushion to allow yourselves to play smart on the road. Obakop here in space. Leverock fell. Obakop, a huge touch there, and knocked out in the end there by Ken Tribbett. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. Facebook is your place for all of your USL news and notes. The USL once again proving how important it can be. London Woodbury winning player of the match last week for the New England Revolution, coming off a year where he played with Arizona United, kept himself fit. 2 former USL players announced this week as US U20 internationals. Tommy Thompson, who played Sacramento Republic FC and got himself a start for the San Jose Earthquakes last night, a former USL player and one of the most exciting players on the U.S. soccer scene. And that's why it's so much fun to tune in here. Players like Jason Plumhoff, young attacking players, Derek Etienne. You get to see them find their feet and get their starts as players. And one day maybe move on to bigger things. A lot of stars throughout this league that are exciting to watch. Great matchups as well we've seen throughout the season. Ekra, a great ball down the left side. McLaughlin again trying to get that goal and wide of the far post. Jimmy McLaughlin for the second time in this game gets himself down that left wing. Jan Ekra, fantastic vision to find him. And McLaughlin here, time and space, and just inches wide of that far post. McLaughlin, the second ever homegrown signing for the Philadelphia Union. In 2012, he's been loaned to Harrisburg City every year since then. 2014 was his best season ever, 23 appearances for Harrisburg City, 6 goals. A huge part of that championship run that Harrisburg City made, along with Antoine Hopinat, who was a Philadelphia Union loanee, currently out injured. Ken Tribbett winning that one over Etienne and out of bounds off of Anthony Wallace. And got to take a second to catch my breath here on this game. The moment it started, we had end-to-end action. New York Red Bulls 2 finally scored. And on the ensuing kickoff, a breakaway for Harrisburg City. Jimmy McLaughlin has been in on 2 breakaways already. Castano made a fingertip save on the first one. And the last one, that shot inches wide. Knocked away there from Tsanis, the Southern New Hampshire University alumni. Not the only Division II or lower division star player in the stadium today. We may see Dejan Kadic, the Bosnian draft pick of the Philadelphia Union, later in this game, who was an NAIA All-American. Make sure to follow New York Red Bulls 2 on Twitter and Facebook at NYRB2. Join the conversation for this match on social media using the hashtag NYVHCI. Let us know about your thoughts for the New York Red Bulls 2. So much to talk about with this team. You have MLS players who are trying to prove that they deserve MLS minutes, gets their feet under them. Let us know what you think about their performances and potentially their spot in the first team. Young players like Derek Etienne and Juan Sebastian Sanchez, who project to potentially be stars of the future for the New York Red Bulls too. And then you have your USL signees, Mike DeFont and Chris Sonis and Dan Metzger, who have come along leaps and bounds so far on the season and will be a staple of this team as they go through the next few months of this USL season. Let us know what you think of your New York Red Bulls 2 performances so far this year. Plumhoff called offsides. Jason Plumhoff coming off a goal in the last match against the Wilmington Hammerheads in his first year with the Harrisburg City Islanders. Plumhoff, a LaSalle University graduate. Interesting story. An American grew up in Germany until he was 15 due to his dad's work, and so he has experience playing in some youth academies over in Germany before moving back to the United States. Leo Stoltz, a German native, before coming over to the U.S. for college, playing 2 years at George Mason and 2 years at UCLA, where he won the Herman Trophy as the best college soccer player in the nation. Quickly taken here. Sean McClaws in his first USL game of the season against Toronto FC2 had a lot of free space to push forward and attack down the right wing like he is here. Looking for Tsanis, gets in, Chris Tsanis with the last touch, can't get it on frame. Dante Leverock with the sliding tackle did just enough to get Chris Tsanis off his spot. And that sliding tackle, Tsanis, all he could do was get a thigh to it and pushes it a little bit wide. Sean McLaws, I was going to say, hasn't had an opportunity to get forward like he did in that first game when he got the goal and an assist. But there, fantastic opportunity to push forward. Plumoff here showing off the foot skills. Trying to slip McLaughlin in. Can't. And taken away. McLaws now. Great switch of the field from Leo Stoltz, but Derek Etienne called offsides, and you hate to see that. Down on the end, you can stare down that line to make that mistake. An overcast afternoon here in New Jersey. Temperature perfect for soccer. Not too cold, not too hot. New York Red Bulls too looking to stay on this hot streak after a 3-2 win against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in their last game. And off to a great start here with the 1-0 victory. Two more games in this homestand next week. For the first time this season, the New York Red Bulls too will play their home game at Columbia University, Rocco B. Commisso Field, at the north tip of Manhattan, Baker Sports Complex. So for anyone in the area, a great opportunity to come out, see these boys play, see some professional soccer right in your backyard. For people in the area, great read there from Metzger to start this attack. Etienne with the flick through. Metzger trying to play Sonesson. Sonesson is onside, and the save by Nick Noble. The trouble, well read there by the goalkeeper, Noble. The buildup is beautiful. This one-touch pass from Etienne to put it on a plate. Metzger able to push it along, and just the top of Nick Noble's face, saving that one from what would have been Chris Sones's first goal in his New York Red Bulls 2 career. As I said earlier, Coach Wolenek felt like it was his best game of the season. Last game, did a lot of good work around the field, setting his teammates up, battling in the air, occupying the center backs, but was not able to get a goal. And for a striker, that pressure just starts to build and build. Jose Barril, his pass cut out. Obakop, so far this season with the New York Red Bulls too, had played out on the left wing, but came to the New York Red Bulls as a withdrawn striker, so had played more centrally than where he had been used. Now an opportunity in that number 10 role to prove that he can pull the strings and control play in the middle of the field. Plumhoff showing his foot skills once again. Anthony Walsh does a good job to recover. And as I mentioned, the New York Red Bulls 2 upcoming home match next Sunday, May 17th at 7 p.m. against the Charleston Battery. This match is also the first ever at Rocco B. Commisso Field at Columbia University in Manhattan. For tickets and more information, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-RBNY2. That's 1-844-22-RBNY2. A great opportunity to come out to watch some of the best young players in the country play, and it's going to be a phenomenal matchup against a Charleston Battery team currently sitting in third place in the Eastern Conference, but by the end of today could be in second place or first place. It was a great matchup in the first game between these two teams at Blackbaud Stadium down in Charleston, South Carolina, and it should be a really fun one for what is also, I must mention, my mother's birthday on May 17th. You always have to remember Mom, especially with tomorrow being Mother's Day. But today it's all about the soccer action on the field. And Derek Etienne back in the starting lineup for this New York Red Bulls 2 team and looking very comfortable already. Jan Ekra continuing to add well to the build-up play out of that midfield. This midfield trio of Vallis, Ekra and Baril. As Baril and Vallis link up, Baril on sides, and he finishes it. Everyone looking around, and Jose Baril with a beautiful first touch to bring that ball down, keeps his composure and able to slot it home. The two Spaniards linking up. Vallis to Baril. He brings it down on that right foot. Castaño caught in the middle. Really nothing he can do about that one. And finally, after numerous opportunities, this Harrisburg City team gets the breakthrough. The first goal of the season for Baril, the second assist of the season for Enrique Vallis, and we're tied up 1-1. Coach Wolenek up. Hates to see this from his team. Last week, they led 1-0. They conceded a goal. They led 2-1 and conceded a goal again, and were able to come out with a 3-2 victory. Anthony Wallace scoring in stoppage time. But even after Anthony Wallace's goal, Andrew Jean-Baptiste still had to make a sliding goal line clearance to keep the game 3-2. And so this New York Red Bulls 2 team wanted to work on that this week of conceding goals after going up, trying to stay mentally turned on. We've seen good threats from Harrisburg City throughout this first half. Jimmy McLaughlin has had two great breakaway opportunities. Danny DePrimo an opportunity. And now Jose Baril making that run out of that midfield. I was just talking about that central midfield trio of Ekra, Baril, and Vallis, what they bring to this team. And two of them link up and get them a goal. Manolo Sanchez works himself a little bit of space. Put back in and easily into the hands of the captain, Nick Noble. Noble, 30-year-old goalkeeper out of Charleston, West Virginia, former Chicago Fire draft pick in 2007. The most experienced player on this team, as well as the longest tenured in his fourth year with the Harrisburg City Islanders. Derek Etienne once again showing you that feathery touch that he has. Before the season, I was talking with Coach Wolenek about Etienne. And you can follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways at USL on Twitter. A lot of great stories up there as well that they tweet out. When I was talking to Coach Wolenek about this team, about these youth players moving up to play at a higher level, and he said soccer IQ and technique will have to come over better in experience and physicality, as Chris Sonis has called offsides on the initial pass. And for Derek Etienne, that has been the case. That great first touch, as well as his vision, has allowed him to step up to play at the highest level he's ever played at and really slot in seamlessly at times against players much bigger and older than him. No call there. Sonis in, another opportunity for him. Great block by Dante Leverock. Leverock stays down. The opportunities continuing to come for both these teams. It'll be put out as Leverock there, down on the field. Dante Leverock had to make the sliding tackle. He saw the danger, another opportunity brewing for Chris Sonis. See the fans out here in attendance. A perfect afternoon for some soccer. The Harrisburg City Islanders fans coming out as well. The Susquehanna River is where their stadium is located, and the name of their supporters group. As we have a short stoppage, Leverock, his first season with the Harrisburg City Islanders. He did play PDL soccer with the Bermuda Hogs previously. He is a Bermuda native. And Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. That's at Nike Soccer and Nike.com/soccer. Fans out in attendance. A great opportunity to come watch this team play, get up close. You can come to this gorgeous stadium one more time or come to Rocco B. Camiso Field. Have an opportunity to see your stars up close. And Dante Leverock, for MLS fans, has an interesting connection. The cousin of Cano Smith, the former New England Revolution player, and the star of the Bermuda national team. Dante Leverock, 3 caps so far for the senior Bermuda team, scored a goal in his debut in a World Cup qualifying victory against the Bahamas. As the New York Red Bulls, 2. We'll give the ball back, and Leverock coming back on the field. Just under 30 minutes into this game here at Red Bull Arena. David Goss on NewYorkRedBulls.com. And the New York Red Bulls, too, got off to a quick start. The opening goal in the first 10 minutes, but Jose Barril pulled one back for the Harrisburg City Islanders, and we are knotted at 1-1. Dan Metzger able to keep possession. Andrew Jean-Baptiste, our goal scorer in this game, puts it right in front of Manolo Sanchez. Put it on the plate for him there. A great ball over the top as the sun starts to peek out here. Obacop turns and shoots with the left foot. That one curls well wide of Noble's goal. Marius Obacop, extremely active so far in this game in this number 10 role. Son is here to battle with Leverock. Just went out off with that injury, but back on. Looks to be okay. Anthony Wallace trying to turn the corner. Number 6 versus number 6. Ken Tribbett saves that one, and it goes out for a throw-in. Complaining to our head referee, Randall Kelly there. He felt like he got fouled. No call coming. Flicked away there by our goal scorer, Barril, and out for another corner kick. New York Red Bulls, too, got their lone goal off a corner kick. Leo Stoltz with the service that time, kept alive by Mike DeFont and Chris Sonis until Andrew Jean-Baptiste could drive it in the corner. Noble coming out here, and this time able to control his penalty area. Bill Belcher, the head coach of this Harrisburg City team, talking to me this week about how important it is in this league to have that stable base, that veteran goalkeeper with so many moving parts in front of him. So key to know what you're getting and have that steady hand at the back, and Nick Noble has been that over the last 4 years for the Harrisburg City Islanders. As Ekra gets taken out there by Anthony Wallace. Randall Kelly calling him over to have a word. Will not issue a yellow card. We haven't seen a card so far in this game. A very clean game played between these two teams. Great action as well. This game got started off with a bang. Breakaways either way for both teams. An early goal for the New York Red Bulls, too. A tying goal from this man, Barril, off the foot of this man, Enric Vallis' pass. Clawflin. Good move to get inside of Andrew Jean-Baptiste. Keeps it alive. Finally cleared by Mike DeFont. Obacop there with the steal. It looked like he was going to have a lot of space to run into before he was taken down by Ekra. Jan Ekra, born in Ivory Coast. John Wolenek not happy. No yellow card shown there, I'm sure. Looked like Marius Obacop was going to be away on the run. Jan Ekra, Ivory Coast born. Grew up in France. Came through the Lyon youth system. Spent time across Europe with Hull City in England, as well as Pananos in the Greek second division. Before really stumbling along for the Harrisburg City Islanders, was visiting in-laws in Washington, D.C., showed up at an open tryout. And next thing you know, he scores a hat trick in a scrimmage, a preseason scrimmage, and he's on the team. Ken Tribbett trying to put it in front of DePrima. Metzger loses possession. Baril here will take a shot with the right foot, just far wide of that far post. Baril already 1 goal to his name. He's able to catch Metzger in possession. About 30 yards out there. He gets his laces through it and drives it well, but can't get it on frame. Santiago Castaño, New York native, homegrown signing for the New York Red Bulls. And this team, a great opportunity for him, especially as a goalkeeper. And there's no rotation in the position during a game for him to get a steady dose of professional soccer minutes behind Kyle Rainish and Luis Robles. Robles has been one of the best goalkeepers in the league over the past 2 years for New York Red Bulls. Castaño has been one of the best goalkeepers in USL so far this season for New York too. Jean-Baptiste with a lazy pass down the middle. Ekra reads it well. 2-on-3 break. Plumhoff on the right. Looks to cross back to Ekra. Ekra, time and space in the shot. Easily taken in then by Castaño. From the start, it looked much more dangerous. Well handled in that situation by Mike DeFont as well as Jean-Baptiste. And now a chance to break the other way. Manolo Sanchez trying to put it in the path of Chris Saunders, cleared away by Leverock. Let's give you the Harrisburg City highlights first, because this one is end-to-end action. DePrima too far on that side for Plumhoff to find. Gave it back to Ekra, but he just couldn't get any power on his shot. And now Obacop laying it in the box. Saunders taken off his feet by Leverock. What more could you want from a game? 35 minutes in, end-to-end action. New York Red Bulls 2 and the Harrisburg City Islanders really opening up and putting on a show so far today. The Academy kid Etienne gets to the end line, but it crosses out of bounds and will go out for a goal kick. And if you love this action and this energy, tune into all USL regular season and playoff games. They are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. All home games for the New York Red Bulls will be on NewYorkRedBulls.com, as well as the New York Red Bulls YouTube channel. I'll be bringing you all the action throughout the season alongside a cast of characters, you could say. Dan Dickinson, Gothamist Dan, so kindly joined me last week for what was a thrilling match between the Riverhounds and the New York Red Bulls 2. New York Red Bulls 2 trying to add to that victory to get themselves their first winning streak of the season. Etienne here, putting Anthony Walls into space. A foot race. Leverock gets there second, but able to tip that cross and out for a corner kick. Anthony Walls with a smile on his face, really enjoying his attacking opportunities with this team. Had that stunning volley in the last game to get a win, and now in this game has gotten forward a couple times to get crosses in. Etienne going over as a short option for Stoltz. Stoltz to take. They do go short. Top to Wallace. New York Red Bulls 2 working it around this left side. Able to get some open space for Stoltz to cross. A great cross in. No one able to meet it on that far post. Sonis, the first one there, keeps it alive. Beautifully chipped ball by Metzger. That cross comes in, but it's to Jimmy McLaughlin, and he looks to spring plumb off. Sean McClaws reads that well and able to safely control it. Just about 40 minutes gone by in this first half. USL action on NewYorkRedBulls.com. The New York Red Bulls 2 at 2-3-2. Going to continue their winning streak. Harrisburg City Islanders at 2-2-1. Trying to get out of this heavy road trip with potentially 8 or 10 points before they finally go home. David Goss here at Red Bull Arena. It's been an action-packed game so far. Unbelievable action. Goal-scoring opportunities both ways alongside the one goal for either team. At times we've seen teams sit back and try and figure out New York for a heavy amount of time before pushing up. This New York Red Bulls 2 team always coming with a different roster and tough for teams to scout. We saw the Richmond Kickers, the Wilmington Hammerheads sit back, the Rochester Rhinos, who are in first place in the Eastern Conference in the opening game, sit back on John Wolinek's boys and try and take their time to feel out the game. But Harrisburg City has come into this game, along with the New York Red Bulls, both these teams intent on getting some goals. Ken Tribbett lays it back. Tribbett, USL Team of the Week member this week off his 2 goals against Wilmington. Plumoff in space. Still alive, Baril with the drive from the top of the box, taken down as he hit that one. And it'll be a set piece right on the top of the box. A great opportunity here for the City Islanders. Jose Baril with the only goal so far in this game for Harrisburg. See here, the deflection off of Metzger fell perfectly to him, and Obakop called coming in late. And Vallis, as well as Ekra and Baril standing over this one, so that center midfield triumvirate for this Harrisburg City team. A few options. Vallis with the left foot, Baril with the right foot. Good to see the team unity between these two. Vallis, a Barcelona Academy kid, and Baril here, the Real Madrid Academy kid. And that shot just along the outside of the net, and it goes out harmlessly for a goal kick, but it was beautifully taken. Baril here, stepping up slowly. Good pace on it, good direction, just couldn't get it to curl a few extra inches at the end. And Castaño watched it flash wide. Jose Baril, like I said, Real Madrid Academy player. Played for a couple teams in the lower divisions in Spain before ending up in Harrisburg. Eric Vallis himself from the La Masia Academy in Barcelona. Played in Holland as well as in England with Birmingham City before coming over to Harrisburg. Anthony Wallace's pass blocked. You see the New York Red Bulls 2 showing that high pressure that has made the first team so successful early on under Jesse Marsh. Etienne's cross floated in. A key part of this team is to play in a style similar to the first team, allow the players to gain experience in Jesse Marsh's system, a top-down club approach from the youth academies all the way up through the first team. The U18s have played some important games over the past few weeks. The U17s won the Generation Adidas Cup down in Dallas, Texas, against MLS and international competition earlier this year, as Obacop's dragged down. Randall Kelly, along with his assistant referee, Mike Priceley, makes the call. Set piece opportunity now. New York has been dangerous on these chances. You see Obacop from midfield covering all that ground. His pace able to throw defenders off, as the first yellow card of the game is issued to the left back, Neil Schaefer. Cross comes in, flicked on by Tsanis. Chris Tsanis getting himself a couple really good looks so far in this game. This one, a tough position for him to try and get any pace on that ball along with the direction. But Tsanis starting to fit in and get really comfortable at the point of the attack for this New York Red Bulls team. Anatola Bong got himself 2 starts for this team, but he's been up with the first team over the past few games. Manolo Sanchez put in on goal. Onside, curls that shot high and wide. Manolo Sanchez with the one-on-one with Nick Noble. Coming off last week's goal, you really felt confident about this one. And he goes for that near post, upper 90, and just can't direct it on goal. Manolo Sanchez in the USL Team of the Week this week off his big performance against the Riverhounds. And once again, Chris Tsanis doing some great work back to goal to flick that one on. Give Manolo Sanchez the look. McClaws reads that pass. It goes out for a throw-in. Neil Schaefer, you see on your screen, throwing that one in. Said issued a yellow card, the only one so far in this game. Beverock, the long touch, able to keep it under control. Our 4th official letting us know there'll be a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time added as that shot bangs off the far post. What a look from Danny DiPrimo, still alive for Harrisburg City. Tribbett cross going to Metzger, and he's able to clear, but really out of nowhere here from DiPrimo. Hits that long strike with the outside of the right foot on the ground past the outstretched hands of Castano, and another fantastic goal-scoring chance in this game. Manolo Sanchez goes down one end on a breakaway and can't finish, and then DiPrimo missing, hitting the post there. And that's been this first half. Great action both ways between these two teams. From really the immediate kickoff, Andrew Jean-Baptiste on the ball got his first goal on that opening, in the opening 10 minutes. Jose Barril able to equalize for the Harrisburg City Islanders. Harrisburg 2-0-1 in their last 3 games. Chris Tsanis, credited with that assist, would be his first of the season. Have to get the official confirmation at halftime from our 4th official, CJ Cole. It's been tough work for the New York Red Bulls center back pairing. McLaughlin as well as Plumhoff making great runs off the wing. Good interchange between them and DiPrimo. DiPrimo here laying it back to Ekra. He gets taken down behind the play by Mike DeFont. Randall Kelly, a decision to make now. DeFont apologizing, trying to avoid the yellow card. And he does in the end, it looks like. Randall Kelly just giving the free kick. Danny DePrimo with that fantastic goal. Back here in the New York area, played a year of college soccer at St. John's University out in Queens. So used to the area before transferring to NC State for the last 3 years. We've hit our 2 minutes of minimum time, but of course at the referee's discretion, more time added. Castano goes up and wins that over Shane Johnson. Gives him a pat on the back and looks to launch the counterattack, but there is our whistle. First half full of action between these two teams. Breakaways consistently both ways, a goal either way, but we can promise you this one's not going to end 1-1. Come back here for all of your second half action on NewYorkRedBulls.com.
tickets or information, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-RBLY2 today.
The players are back out on the field here at Red Bull Arena. David Goss on NewYorkRedBulls.com for this USL broadcast. New York Red Bulls 2 hosting the Harrisburg City Islanders. It was a first half full of action, and let's just get it started off with, of course, a goal. Kept alive here off the corner kick. Chris Sonis laying it off for Andrew Jean-Baptiste, whether the pass was on purpose or not. Irrelevant in the end, and Andrew Jean-Baptiste, the center back, gets his shoulders down and drives it to that far post. In the opening 10 minutes there was that goal. Then this gorgeous counterattack. Metzger and Etienne setting up Sonis, and Sonis still looking for his first goal. Had a great first half, but couldn't get the finish past Nick Noble there. And then the tying goal, Enrique Valles over the top. Jose Barril brings it down cleanly. You see here with that first touch, composure to gather himself and slot it past Castano. The back line for New York calling for offsides. Wouldn't be helped out there. Jason Plumhoff lays this one back for Jan Ekra. We saw Danny DePrima hit the post here on this shot just to close out the first half. This was seconds after Manolo Sanchez had a one-on-one breakaway down the other end, and that's just the type of game it's been. Action both ways. Castano had to make a save in the first 5 minutes. Jimmy McLaughlin for Harrisburg City Islanders has had 2 breakaways. You saw that post hit, and a lot of action coming up here in the second half as well. It should be a great matchup. These are two teams right next to each other in the standings, sitting in 7th and 8th place right now in the Eastern Conference, with a game less played than the Richmond Kickers and the Charlotte Independents, and an opportunity to move up the standings here today. Leo Stoltz with the win there. No changes for either team coming into the second half. 1 yellow card issued in the first half to the left back Neil Schaefer for Harrisburg City. A very clean first half for these two teams in terms of fouls. In terms of defensive display, it's really been the brilliance of the offense that's opened up these two defenses. For Harrisburg City, it's been these fantastic runs off the wings and out of midfield to give the center backs a different look, as you see Etienne there with the footwork. For New York Red Bulls, too, they've been able to use Marius Obakop as a creative fulcrum in the middle of the field. Chris Sonis and Sanchez have been able to find space off of him to operate, especially down the right side. And set pieces have been dangerous for both teams. Jose Barril with a direct set piece from the top of the box that he curled just wide of the near post. And, of course, Andrew Jean-Baptiste goal from the corner kick. Jason Plumhoff, who's been a great offensive outlet on that right wing, starting that play, but good steal by the New York Red Bulls, too. Sean McClaws not able to get back, but Manolo Sanchez taken down after the play. Randall Kelly, our head official, makes the call. It'll be a set piece now for New York. Randall Kelly, Mike Pearsley, Tom Felice, our assistant referees, and our fourth official, C.J. Cole. As Sanchez back up on his feet, forced an own goal to open up the scoring last week against Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Got himself what at the time was the go-ahead goal for the second goal for New York. USL Team of the Week this week for Sanchez, and what has been his best performance so far for New York Red Bulls too, and he's brought a lot of that confidence over here in this game. Stoltz floats it to the far post, flicked away by Barril. Metzger, the good follow-up shot. Now Obakop looking to keep it alive. Curls that one in. It's over Noble's head, still alive. DeFont now on it, and his shot or cross goes out for a goal kick. Nick Noble, the steady goalkeeper, has had a little bit of trouble controlling his box on set pieces so far in this game. Neil Schaefer's touch didn't have enough on it. Mike DeFont able to get on top of it. It's the second shot for him of the game. The two center backs enjoying a little bit of offensive freedom so far in this one. Still an overcast, cool afternoon here in Harrison, New Jersey. It's been a threat of rain all game, but we actually saw some sunlight in that first half, and hopefully it'll come back here in the second half. Obakop switching the field. Schaefer able to beat Sanchez to that one. Neil Schaefer in his second year with the Harrisburg City Islanders out of Robert Morris University. That throw-in goes out for a goal kick to Nick Noble. The New York Red Bulls, too, here in their second to last, sorry about that, home game at Red Bull Arena. Next week, they'll be playing their debut match at Columbia University at Rocco B. Camiso Field before coming back to face off against FC Montreal on Sunday, May 24th here at Red Bull Arena. That game's scheduled for 8 p.m. It's a doubleheader with the first team for the New York Red Bulls. So for anyone coming out to that game, you get a double dip there if you stick around. 2 soccer games for the price of 1. DePrima's shot blasted off the head of Andrew Jean-Baptiste. Jean-Baptiste still down behind the play as Anthony Wallace has won that ball back. And our head official, Kelly, finally calling the play dead there as our trainer will come on. See the replay here. Plumhoff. It's been the runs out of midfield, as I've said, that have given New York Red Bulls 2 so much trouble. You see how open Plumhoff's there is there to start. McLaughlin's had 2 wide open runs coming off the wings unmarked and finding space. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com yet? Get the latest news and live stats and check out the new social media hub, USLsoccer.com. It's a great night of action this week, this Saturday. This game starting it all off between 7 p.m. tonight and midnight. Heavy games. The Rhinos looking to stay in first place. St. Louis FC hosting the Wilmington Hammerheads. Austin Aztecs facing off against the Real Monarchs. What should be a fun matchup tonight. Probably the best matchup of the week. Sacramento Republic FC hosting Seattle for first place in the West, but it's the East that we're worried about now. That one saved by Noble. Manolo Sanchez with his second breakaway of the game. Nick Noble not happy with the 4th official now, but he came up with the big save here. Sanchez in space. Couldn't get that shot past the wall created by the 2 center backs, Johnson and Leverock, sliding in front of Noble. That window closed pretty quickly for Sanchez to try and finish it. Now the attack going the other way. Tribbett curls it in. And Jean-Baptiste just enough there. Winning the second ball. Great strength from the MLS veteran. Sanis in a battle with Barril. And the foul called against Chris Sanis in favor of Harrisburg City. Sanis, we saw, had that breakaway in the first half. His shot went off the head, face of Nick Noble. Free kick this time going against Harrisburg City. Getting a little bit chippier here at the start of the second half. These 2 franchises know each other well. Harrisburg City defeating the New York Red Bulls, first team in U.S. Open Cup play twice over the last 5 years. It would be tough for these 2 teams to match up in U.S. Open Cup play this year. The USL coming into U.S. Open Cup play at the 3rd round, NASL coming in at the 4th round, MLS coming in the round after that. So these 2 teams will come in at the same time. For the New York Red Bulls 2, they will either host the New York Greek Americans or travel to Newark, New Jersey to face off against the New Jersey Express, who play their games, the home field of the NJIT men's soccer team. That'll be on May 20th. Either way, if it is a home game, we will have the broadcast for you here on NewYorkRedBulls.com, and I highly advise going out and checking out that Greek Americans versus Jersey Express match on Wednesday, May 13th as well. So much soccer going on in the area right now, of course. New York Red Bulls versus NYCFC tomorrow for the first time ever here at Red Bull Arena. Should be a phenomenal matchup. ICC as well as Gold Cup action in the area this summer. Women's World Cup send-off game here at Red Bull Arena, along with all your USL, MLS, and US Open Cup action. Obakop here with a little bit of space. Obakop, one of the players on this team worth the price of admission. You see how high up the field right now. Mike DeFont and Andrew Jean-Baptiste, the two of them at least 10 yards in front of midfield. Harrisburg City completely pinned into their own half. We saw this against Richmond as well as against Wilmington and Rochester. The New York Red Bulls, too, really starting to dominate possession in the game as the game has moved along, but they haven't always been able to get the goals to go along with that possession. Those opportunities. 2 balls on the field, so play. Pause for a second by our head referee, Kelly. You can hear the direction from the sideline. Head coach John Wolenek along with his assistant Ibrahim Sakagia, recently retired New York Red Bulls center back. This one over the top for McLaughlin, chasing with Leo Stoltz, and that one in the air and off the post. Jimmy McLaughlin with the touch. Bounced a couple times in the box. Leo Stoltz couldn't get there, and it went off the post for the second time in this game, and that's the danger there for Harrisburg City, or from Harrisburg City. New York Red Bulls, too, dominating possession and a lethal counter the other way, and inches from getting the first lead of the game for Harrisburg City. McLaughlin here, he's had 3 good opportunities. He had a breakaway saved earlier from Castano, and this chance right here, the low touch with that right foot, looked like the outside of the foot to flick it over Castano. Leo Stoltz, the center midfielder, back to cover, and really nothing anyone could do but watch. And fortunate for New York that that one bounced away, as we have a set piece now. A free kick for Harrisburg. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. That's USL on Facebook. What a season it has been in both the Eastern and Western Conference. 7 teams operated by MLS franchises, along with expansion teams like the Tulsa Roughnecks, as well as St. Louis FC, Louisville City FC have added so much energy, excitement, and quality to this league. You have players like Enric Vallis coming straight here from Birmingham City, as well as the La Masia Development Academy in Barcelona. Shows you the quality in this league. Sanis able to keep it alive. On the run into the box, curls that one to the far post and out of the reach of Manolo Sanchez. Once again for Chris Sanis. Great work down that wing. Gets himself into a decent position around that 18, but just can't get that goal so far. No one better to learn from for him than the head coach of this team, John Wolenek. Was an MLS draft pick as a forward. Got dropped from the Metro Stars. Had to find his way around the A-League, including time with the Rochester Rhinos, before resurfacing with the Chicago Fire and really adding a lot of elements to his game to make himself an MLS forward and eventually one of the most successful ones in New York Red Bulls history. And Chris Sonis now following in those footsteps. Great steal in open space there from McClaws. Trying to set his teammates up. That cross going to the far side. Outside the reach of Etienne. Etienne trying to keep the attack alive. Tripped up right in front of the referee. Kelly, no call, and a perfect chance for Harrisburg City to counter. McLaughlin here down the left side looks to switch the field. Great block by Dan Metzger and keeps it alive. The attack remains. You see two substitutes at the bottom of your screen preparing to come on for the New York Red Bulls too. Juan Sanchez as well as Daniel Bedoya preparing to come in. We believe for Marius Obakop as well as Chris Sonis. 5 substitutions per team allowed in USL. Of course, once you leave, you cannot return. An opportunity to get other players some game minutes as well as keep legs fresh, especially for a team like Harrisburg City, who only has 16 on the roster. Henrik Vallis, wide to Tribbett. Tribbett blasts it down the middle. Vallis with a great opportunity there. The cross on the ground, finding Vallis's feet, and he just couldn't get it on frame. Another great opportunity, though, for the City Islanders team. We have our substitutions, Daniel Bedoya, who started in the last 2 games for this New York team, coming in for Marius Obakop. And Juan Sanchez coming in for Juan Sebastian Sanchez, the Red Bulls Academy player, being loaned up to this New York Red Bulls 2 team. Comes in for Chris Sonis. Sonis going off. Head down a little bit. Another good performance from him. But it will be tough pill to swallow not getting a goal in this game. Make sure to follow the New York Red Bulls 2 on Twitter and Facebook at NYRB2. Join the conversation for this match on social media using the hashtag NYVHCI. Still alive here. McLaughlin gets it knocked away. Got a great tweet from once a Metro earlier in the game, talking about the quality that Manolo Sanchez has shown. Seems to be on the brink of a first-team opportunity for him, as you see Andrew Jean-Baptiste, who started the year with an injury and has slowly worked himself into fitness, getting the goal today. Showing a great performance. Sanchez there, his first touch off the bench. Andrew Jean-Baptiste, definitely a place in the first team at the center back position for him to push for, because Matt Miazga is called up to the US U20 World Cup squad that will be traveling to New Zealand. They'll be leaving for LA in about 2 weeks, heading to Australia and then to New Zealand to compete in Group A of the U20 World Cup against the host New Zealand, as well as the Ukraine and Myanmar. Matt Miazga should be a staple of that team, a New York Red Bulls homegrown player. So potentially an opening there in the first team, as well as a sign of what you can accomplish for players like Kyle Zajac, Derek Etienne, Marcelo Borges, academy players throughout the New York Red Bulls system who are looking for their first team opportunities. First substitution of the game for Harrisburg City. And an exciting player coming in here in Cardell Benbow. Coming on for Jason Plumoff. Plumoff dangerous all game. Looked like he was going to get himself a goal at some point in this game, was never able to. Cardell Benbow, Jamaican U20 international in his first year playing in the U.S. Excuse me, his second time ever playing in the U.S. He played for the Tampa Bay Marauders, who I can't tell you for sure, but I believe are an amateur soccer team in Florida. Played at the U17 World Cup for Jamaica, as well as scoring in the Central American Caribbean games for the Jamaica U22 team. And playing recently as they hosted the CONCACAF U20 qualifiers. So Cardell Benbow has started the last few games out wide right for this Harrisburg City team, and that's where he's slotted in. Daniel Bedoya, who's shown his skills over the last few weeks for New York Red Bulls too. Metzger able to come in and win that tackle alongside Etienne. Leverock standing him up. Action both ways, and Leo Stoltz called for the foul. First yellow card of the game for New York. New York will go to Leo Stoltz. Stoltz here coming in late on the back of Jan Ekra, giving Randall Kelly no choice. This game hasn't slowed at all from the opening minute. Opportunities both ways. New York Red Bulls too have dominated possession here in the second half, but the two best chances of the half have come for Harrisburg City. Now trying to get the goal. Cardell Benbow with the cross, and it goes off the post. Look like Santi Castano with a touch, putting it off the crossbar. Cardell Benbow coming in and immediately making a difference for this Harrisburg City team. They look to turn the screws, trying to get their first lead of the game. Benbow once again makes the run down the middle. DeFont trying to keep him in front of him. Looks like Benbow dribbled himself out of bounds. The replay here. I don't believe Castano got a touch. Benbow trying to float that one to the far post. That one hit off the crossbar. Another great opportunity. The second time in this half that Harrisburg's hit the post. Third time of the game. Fans, New York Red Bulls 2 upcoming home match is next Sunday, May 17th at 7 p.m. against the Charleston Battery. The match is also their first ever at Rocco B. Comiso Field at Columbia University in Manhattan. For tickets and more information, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-RBNY2. That's 1-844-22-RBNY2. This league has had so much excitement. Charleston Battery, one of the most fun teams to watch in the league. Dane Kelly up top, along with Cordovo. Charleston Battery, that great history of bringing in top Cuban internationals. Cordovo, another one in that line. And it should be a fantastic and historic matchup next week in the first game of the year against the first game of the year at Columbia University. But this one's not nearly over yet. End-to-end action between these two teams as they both look for a victory over the last 20 or so minutes of this game. David Goss here at Red Bull Arena for your New York Red Bulls 2 USL action on NewYorkRedBulls.com. Dan Metzger with time and space. Harrisburg City preparing to make their second substitution of the game. We'll tell you about it in a second. It's an interesting one. McLaughlin able to stay on his feet after the push there from Jean-Baptiste. McLaughlin setting it up for himself. Castano with the save to the far post. Benbow's shot is blocked by Anthony Wallace. It looked like it was going to be a tap-in on that far post. Santi Castano once again standing up this Harrisburg City team. A gorgeous curled shot. The save just past the foot of DePrima. Benbow took too much time to ready himself. And that shot in the end blocked by Anthony Wallace. Danny DePrima will be done here today. And Dejan Kadic, the Bosnian Herzegovinian, out of Davenport University in the NAIA. He was the 31st pick of the MLS Super Draft by the Philadelphia Union, one of the most exciting young players in the country and one of the best stories as well. His family left Bosnia during their civil war when he was 8 years old, moving to Michigan, where he grew up, winning high school state titles, signing a commitment letter to go to Michigan State before deciding to go overseas and try his hand in the FC Kaiserslautern academy team for 2 years. Eventually was dropped, as we hear Andre Jean-Baptiste has been issued a yellow card for that attempted foul on McLaughlin. Randall Kelly allowed them to play through. But Kadic dropped from that FC Kaiserslautern team, really with nowhere to go, decided to come back to the U.S. after having already signed a professional deal, wasn't allowed to play NCAA soccer, went home to Grand Rapids, Michigan, won a NAIA national title as well as Player of the Year, scored 63 goals in 2 years with Davenport University, and went down to the MLS Combine this year and wowed almost everyone. Ante Razov, one of the best strikers in MLS history, said he was the best player at the draft. Jim Curtin fell in love with him. John Wolyniec said today to me, when he saw that he was going to be playing for Harrisburg City, that he was the best player at the Combine and that everyone was wild about him. He fell to the second round, and the Philadelphia Union, hosting the draft in Philadelphia, picked him, and you could feel the emotion in the room as he was crying, talking about the American dream, the opportunity his parents gave him. And the Philadelphia Union, so proud of their newest player, has yet to appear for Philadelphia early on in this MLS season, but it's his fourth appearance for this Harrisburg City team. He's going to try and get them what could be a monumental go-ahead and winning goal. Ken Tribbett, the 2 goals last game, which got him the USL Team of the Week honoree. Hasn't had offensive looks so far this game. He's put in a couple dangerous crosses, but has had to defend stoutly with Derek Etienne and Anthony Wallace challenging him down the New York left wing. Daniel Bedoya now sitting in the hole that Marius Obakop was operating in front of Dan Metzger and Leo Stoltz. Anthony Wallace with the interception. Cardell Benbow hit the crossbar in this second half. Jimmy McLaughlin hit the post. Great action both ways. Will either team be able to get the goal? Metzger there with the pressure put on by Kadic. A chance to counter. Jan Ekra going to launch McLaughlin. McLaughlin now with a runner in Kadic. Kadic and Andrew Jean-Baptiste. And Jean-Baptiste wins that foot race. Castaño almost turned it over in his own box. Was able to get rid of it just at the right second. Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider. Join club conversations. Have a chance at exclusive giveaways. That's at USL on Twitter. And of course, you can always tweet at us throughout the game. Let us know your thoughts on this New York Harrisburg City matchup, as well as the New York Red Bulls 2 season as a whole so far. If this result were to stand, New York would move to 9 points, tied for 4th place in the Eastern Conference with Louisville City FC, just ahead of the Charlotte Independents, as well as the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who are still yet to play this week. They face off against the Charleston Battery tonight. Harrisburg City 1 point behind them and move into a tie with Charlotte and Pittsburgh. Another substitution coming here for New York. Franklin Castellanos will check in place of the young gun Derek Etienne, coming out after 74 minutes of play. Derek Etienne, the Haitian U20 international, son of the Haitian international as well as nephew of a Haitian international. Another strong performance from him as he learns the ins and outs of the professional game. You see Coach Wolenek not missing the opportunity to coach up the young player as he comes off the field, but Derek Etienne continues to wow. Foot skills and soccer IQ, athleticism, he really has it all. Committed to go to the University of Virginia, last year's NCAA national champions. He'll leave later in the summer for summer classes and practice to begin for that fall season. Castellanos there, losing out on that header opportunity. Anthony Wallace there, to the feet of Castellanos. His pass intercepted. Great tackle there by DeFont. Mike DeFont, the Westchester native, who played a few years of professional soccer in Portugal, coming up a little lame there. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. That's at Nike Soccer, or go to nike.com/soccer. Stoltz, too late for that pass. Jan Ekra finding the feet of Katic. Now Schaefer. There was space along that New York Red Bulls back line. Schaefer wasn't able to pick out the pass. Castano, who's been huge in this game, had that save against McLaughlin here in the second half to keep this game level. Manolo Sanchez potentially due up for a full 90 here today. 3 substitutions made so far by Coach Wolenek. Still has a large bench to choose from. A couple more defensive options in Jamie Thomas, Bolo Akinyode, Conrad Pleva that he could choose to go with. Pleva, a versatile center midfielder who's played at center back for this team as well. Jean-Baptiste, the only goal of the game for New York Red Bulls 2, coming in the first 10 minutes. It looked like there was no chance these two teams would be held at 1 apiece after what we saw in the first half, and it's really been by inches here in the second half that it's been the case. Harrisburg hitting 2 posts. New York Red Bulls 2, a couple shots just wide. Runs a few inches offside. DeFont gets us started quickly. Bedoya, the former St. John's University player, and New York Red Bulls Academy player. Sanchez called for the foul there. He felt like he was being pulled back. Very late, though, on the kick. It looks like Jose Barril down on the ground. Barril played for Real Madrid's C team for 2 years before playing a year in the 4th division in Spain for Antignet Club Football. DeFont trying to take that one quickly, get this play started. Now we know that the New York Red Bulls 2 games can get very action-packed very quickly late in the game. In the last game against Pittsburgh, it was 1-1 in the 80th minute. And the game ended 3-2 in favor of New York. And it looks like Daniel Bedoya has lost a shoe there. So he looks to put his right cleat back on. DeFont will take the free kick. Kadich there in your screen, along with Jan Ekra, who's pushed a little bit higher in this second half. Jose Barril, the goal scorer, was playing just in front of the two holding mids in the first half. Jan Ekra's moved into that spot here in the second half in front of Vallis and Barril. Great versatility in this team for Coach Beecher. For the Harrisburg City Islanders, we said looking to close out the longest road streak of the season for them. 6 of their 7 games to start have been on the road, away from the Skyline Sports Complex in Harrisburg City. Of course, the capital of Pennsylvania. As that one goes across the face of goal, Sanchez couldn't get a touch. That ball just sitting there in the box, but no one there to tap it home. Sean McClaw's getting forward. Gets that cross on the ground. Sanchez not able to make contact with that initial look. And no one there to tap it home behind him. Don't forget, all USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. Such a great opportunity to watch some high-level soccer. Colorado Switchbacks tonight hosting the Portland Timbers 2 at 9 p.m. Sacramento Republic FC, I already said, hosting Seattle Sounders FC 2 at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. And Arizona United hosting the Tulsa Roughnecks. Tuesday night, Louisville City FC host the Wilmington Hammerheads, 7:30 p.m. So not a lot of action going on Tuesday night. Try and check out some USL. Also Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday games throughout this week before next week, where, of course, on Sunday at 7 p.m., you're going to want to come out to Rocco B. Camiso Field to check out the New York Red Bulls 2 against the Charleston Battery. Harrisburg City Islanders, Saturday, May 16th at 7 p.m., host the Charlotte Independents back home at the Skyline Sports Complex. It's Johnson now coming off. Johnson in his second stint with Harrisburg City Islanders. His first stint came on loan from the Richmond Kickers last year, from 2012 to 2013. He appeared 45 times for the Richmond Kickers. Consistent center back, came to Harrisburg City on loan last year and then officially signed with them this season. Slide tackle there from Vallis, covering for that center back role. As Johnson now comes back on. Last time we saw the New York Red Bulls, too, in this second half really start to control possession like this. Minutes later, Jimmy McLaughlin was hitting the post the other way as Manolo Sanchez's shot deflected by Schaefer and taken by Noble. So we know how dangerous this Harrisburg City team can be on the counter. Manolo Sanchez trying to follow up his goal from last week with a goal this week. Some space here to operate, taken down. Sanchez really brimming with confidence in this game. Jose Barril down this time. The Harrisburg City Islander training staff getting a lot of work as we prepare for another substitution for New York. Conrad Pleva, Seton Hall alumni. We'll check in from Mike DeFont. And Pleva has played center back for this team, has also played center midfield for this team, as well as forward at times. So we'll look if it's just a like-for-like substitution. Maybe Coach Wolenek giving Pleva some license to roam a little bit farther forward, as this team could push for a goal. Mike DeFont, another outstanding performance for this team, has been a rock at the center back position throughout this season. Started the first game alongside Pleva before Pleva went down with an injury. DeFont at one point was the only full-time USL signing player starting alongside all MLS loanees. Barreal, our goal scorer in the first half for Harrisburg City. And we'll see if he's able to continue. Just about 8 minutes left to play of regular time here in the second half. New York Red Bulls 2 at 2-3-2. Hosting the Harrisburg City Islanders at 2-2-1 here at Red Bull Arena. David Goss on the NewYorkRedBulls.com live stream of USL action. Getting your New York City soccer weekend started off right. New York Red Bulls 2 trying to put a first victory down on this field before the New York Red Bulls host NYCFC tomorrow afternoon, 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. What a great way to celebrate your Mother's Day. And, of course, we say Happy Mother's Day out there to all you mothers listening. Metzger losing out to Ekra. Jan Ekra has really shown something here in the second half. He's been active in that holding midfield role. Randall Kelly now will go back and make the foul call. He allowed play on for a few moments. A good, clean officiated match so far. And Leo Stoltz, that's going to be his second yellow card and a red card. Randall Kelly seeing that as dangerous play. Stoltz with a high boot. And once again, a red card. The New York Red Bulls 2 games have been action-filled throughout. Castano got a red card earlier in the season. And now Stoltz, an early walk to the locker room in the 85th minute. Leo Stoltz issued his second yellow and a red card for him. So the twists and turns continue in this one. Harrisburg City Islanders going up a man. We'll see if they can make it worth their while. You got to imagine at least 3, maybe 4 minutes of stoppage time will be added by the referee here today. So potentially 8 or so minutes of time left to play. Ekra there, he had to run it down the right side, finds McLaughlin. McLaughlin's been so close to a goal all game. Can he finally get one? Benbow laying it back. Vallis' shot off of Jean-Baptiste. Still alive. McLaughlin was onside. Tried to square it for Kadich. And Andrew Jean-Baptiste following up the play. It looked like McLaughlin was a little bit surprised that he was onside. Andrew Jean-Baptiste not happy at all right now with the officiating, either from the linesman or the head referee. Jean-Baptiste, our lone goal scorer for New York so far in this game, saved that goal. Kadich was going to have a knock-in. Corner kick coming now. Cross comes in. On that far post, Andrew Jean-Baptiste clears. Castellanos. Open space. He's got Sanchez making a run. He tries to find him. Well read by Ekra, but Ekra with a messy touch. Sanchez looking to pursue. New York Red Bulls 2, down a man. Tied 1-1 here with Harrisburg City. Still looking for the win. And now Harrisburg City a chance to counter. Benbow putting Anthony Wallace on his back. A good battle there between Benbow and Castellanos. And right now, Barreal down behind the play for Harrisburg City, dealing with a cramp of some sort. Head referee Kelly allowing play on. And Noble puts it out of bounds for a throw-in. Brett Yankuskas is going to check in here for Baril, who can't go any longer. Yankuskas had a goal last week against Wilmington for this Harrisburg City team. His only of the season. This his third appearance of the season, all three off the bench as a backup forward option. Yankuskas in his first year with Harrisburg City to Syracuse University before transferring to Leander College in South Carolina. So New York in fair play, giving the ball back. Good win there by Metzger. See if New York can fashion themselves one last game-winning opportunity, man down, or will it be Harrisburg City who gets that look? Manolo Sanchez, who's going to get an opportunity to go the full 90 here today. Andrew Jean-Baptiste standing up, McLaughlin. Schaefer now will drive this one in. Flicked on and in. It looked like it may have in the end got off Pleva, but the late game winner, it could be this time Vallis himself. Had the assist on Jose Baril's tying goal and gets himself the go-ahead goal. Neil Schaefer curls this one in. And I do believe the last touch went off Pleva. We'll have to wait for the official scoring on this one. I believe it's going to go down as an own goal unless Vallis is able to take credit. And we have a minimum now of 4 minutes of stoppage time left to play in this one. And it could be a huge victory for the Harrisburg City Islanders. Leo Stoltz sent off in the 85th minute. Harrisburg City getting a man advantage after trailing in the first 10 minutes. And now leading 2-1 in the 90th minute. So that goal officially put in the 90th minute. Ball down the line. Kadich knocks over Pleva, and it goes out off of him. New York has to be quick now. Not a lot of time. Bedoya to pick his head up and push it forward. McLaws. Numerous opportunities for both teams throughout this game. Harrisburg City's hit multiple posts. New York Red Bulls, too, have had breakaways from Manolo Sanchez and Chris Tsanis. Opportunities that they were not able to finish as we get a substitution here, and it's going to be the goal-scoring hero, Enric Vallis, coming off in place of Eric Cruz, the Brazilian holding midfielder. And Enric Vallis, what a day for him. The assist on the opening goal for Jose Baril. A gorgeous ball floated in over the top of the back line for Baril's opener. And then I do not believe he'll get credit for the second goal, but forcing the mistake, making it hard for Conrad Pleva on the second, and creating the opportunity for the goal. Yanauskis. I do believe was issued a yellow card. We'll get confirmation. Another substitution now coming for Harrisburg City. McLaughlin coming out. Jankowskis does get the yellow card issued. Plenty of action down the stretch here. A red card and a goal. This one crossed in. Manolo Sanchez trying to get it on frame. And for McLaughlin, Raymond Lee, one of the 3 Philadelphia Union loan players, checking in. Raymond Lee, who's appeared for the first team for Philadelphia out of St. Louis University, a soccer powerhouse that is SLU. Anthony Wallace, he had a stoppage time goal in the last game to get the New York Red Bulls to a victory. Can he help jumpstart the attack and get them a late draw here? Bedoya running over to take it. Around 4 minutes of stoppage time has been played, but we've had cards, goals, substitutions, so it's at our referee's discretion. Bedoya with the cross in. One on that near post, and it goes out for a goal kick. Last touch off Conrad Pleva. Tough game for Pleva. He is charged with the own goal on what looks like will be the difference maker in this game. Harrisburg City Islanders on the end of a 3-game road trip, 2-0-1 in their last 3 games, 1-0-1 on the road. They'll move to 2-0-1, and what a great performance for them, showing the quality in their attack. Ekra, Ariel, and Vallis in the midfield, and Harrisburg City Islanders come away with a well-deserved win over John Wolyniec boys and the New York Red Bulls too, as they continue this homestand off a 3-2 win over Pittsburgh. They fall to the Harrisburg City Islanders. Andrew Jean-Baptiste with the lone goal, and on the other side, Jose Burriel and Enric Vallis forcing the own goal. And let's get to the first half, or the full match highlights. Andrew Jean-Baptiste, early on, 10 minutes in, it looked like it was going to be a high-scoring one for both sides. This beautiful counterattack, Chris Sonis put through, looking for his first goal of the season. Nick Noble making the save with his face. Enric Vallis there putting that ball over the top perfectly for Jose Burriel. And then Harrisburg City, a few good looks to close out the first half. Ekro with that easy save for Castano, who you have to say was immense today. And then Danny DiPrimo with this strike off the post. Twice Harrisburg City hit the post. Once they hit the crossbar. Like DeFont with this opportunity early in the second half. Looked like it was going to be more of the same. New York dominating possession. Opportunities like this on the counter for Harrisburg City. And that's really the way it went. Chris Sonis was good throughout the game. From sideline to sideline, really creating space. Wasn't able to get the goal. Cardell Benbow here comes off the bench and immediately is a difference maker. Jimmy McLaughlin here forcing Castano into an incredible save. And then Benbow's follow-up opportunity blocked by Anthony Wallace, but finally the breakthrough came. Leo Stoltz sent off in the 85th minute. And that cross from Neil Schaefer coming off the head of Conrad Pleva and in for Harrisburg City. A win for them. They moved to 3-2-1 on the season and 10 points on the season. New York Red Bulls 2 dropped to 2-4-2 in this one. Don't forget tomorrow, a huge match here at Red Bull Arena. New York Red Bulls 2 facing off against NYCFC for the first time in history. And it's here in Harrison, New Jersey, as well as on Fox Sports 1, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then next week, Rocco B. Camiso Field, May 17th, 7 p.m. The Charleston Battery face off against the New York Red Bulls 2 in their debut match at what will be their new home in Rocco B. Camiso Field at Columbia University on the northern tip of Manhattan. New York Red Bulls 2 here. A big matchup for them with the Harrisburg City Islanders. Phenomenal action both ends. We thank you so much for joining us here. For everyone at the New York Red Bulls and NewYorkRedBulls.com, for me, David Goss, have a great afternoon.